Today is Thursday, September 19th, 2019. The time is 6:30 p.m. The regular meeting of the Greensburg Redevelopment Commission is called to order. At this time, please silence your electronic devices. And if everyone would stand, we'll begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
To comply with Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the city requests that participants in this meeting complete a voluntary anonymous survey that is available on the table in the back of the room. Roll call. Jody, would you conduct roll call, please?
Yes, Dave Weigel.
Present.
Adam Winslow. Present. Ken Dornick.
Present.
Karen Covington.
Here.
Jody Kaufman here. Shannon McLeod, absent.
I'd like to make a amend our agenda to discuss a property that needs abatement request. So we'll make that item 2 after update of project status for Veterans Way. Approve the minutes of the August 15th, 2019 regular meeting. Are there any corrections to the minutes? If there are not any other corrections to the minutes, they stand approved as presented. Item 1, update of project status for Veterans Way Phase 2. Mr. May, please.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Not a lot to report about the project itself. We continue to work with the last right-of-way parcel, and it's apparently a slow and laborious process, and we continue to work through that. There is, though, a little bit of business for you to consider this evening relative to Veterans Way. You have in your claims a couple of claims for some legal services that can be paid out of the bond fund, and Ashley has contacted the bank, First Financial, to see how that process now works under new management. The gentleman that had represented the bank is no longer with First Financial, and we have a new representative over there. And the process is radically different, but they have raised some concerns or some questions. They want a little more information. And Jody, if I may, in order for you to make a draw on the bond, assuming that's what you want to do to pay these 2 claims, one of the things that the financial institution does want are minutes from the meeting where you authorized that draw.
Okay.
So the sooner those minutes are available, I do not believe they require approved minutes, just minutes. I have some information for you. There's 2 different documents here. The 3-page document is actually the budget, I guess, for one better term, for the Veterans Way project that was established back in 2014. And and I'm referring to this one, these 3 pages stapled together. The important part is on the 2nd page, kind of in the middle, in this area right here. It's the budget for Phase 2 of Veterans Way. And the financial institution has asked that you all review that and propose appropriate modifications to it. The part above that from Phase 1 is not up to date. So, but I wanted you to see where that budget originally was. And the other sheet that I gave you is a proposed revision to that budget based upon the information that we now have. And except for the conclusion of the right-of-way, we have good estimates for the construction cost. We have a signed contract for the construction inspection and for the utility work, and we know what remaining engineering work we have. So these numbers are believed to be very realistic. And if you look on down at the bottom of this document, the white table down there, originally that showed after our first budget for phase 1 and phase 2 combined, the $9.5 million bond showed a remaining balance of $2.76 million that was never really figured on, if you will, up front. Now, certainly that was, I assume, for potential contingencies. The budget that Mark and I have drafted increased the total project cost for phase 2 that would come from the bond. I believe the numbers are backward. I believe the headings are backwards on that. Where it says NDOT and bond, but no, that is correct. I'm sorry. So anyway, we had been at $1,676,000. We're proposing a new budget of $2,052,000, which is an increase of about $400,000. So without even thinking about phase 1 that is truly complete, if you had a 2.7 available and we increase this 0.4, you got a 2.3 available. In fact, what we know as of today, the outstanding balance on the bond is 1.7 or 1.8 million, I believe, after we repaid that money that you all approved last month. My message is there's plenty of money here within the bond to live within the budget we have, and we intended for the budget to be adequate. So, what I think is appropriate is for you to consider a budget and approve a budget for the remainder of phase 2 so that we can share that with the financial institution. And I would be happy to do my best to answer any questions you all may have.
So it looks like construction right away went up and everything else went down.
Actually, construction came down from the original. The original estimated construction cost was 5.3 million. We're now at 3.9 million.
Oh, you're right.
'Cause the right of way has
Doesn't
gone
matter
up.
backwards.
The right of way, you are correct. The right of way was the biggest increase. Engineering cost went up a little bit. I said that like $30,000 is just a little bit. But everything else, construction is a bigger number. You're correct there. In our budgeting process, there is plenty of money for construction. Sometimes, depending on the availability of state funds, after the initial contract is let, if there are change orders that increase the construction cost, sometimes NDOT requires the locals to pay 100% of that. So we assumed a 20% contingency that would be 100% local. So if you take that out, it's actually less for construction than initially envisioned. But we wanted to be safe to have enough money for whatever comes along.
So we could have approved or adopted this one-page budget, and that would
Satisfy, I believe, the needs of the.
Okay.
And I think Mark shared this with the bank ahead of time to see if this was in a format that was workable on their end.
budget changing again?
I don't believe so. My thinking on this sort of stuff is budget's the maximum amount. If you can do less, and I always want to be frugal in how we expend funds. I think that's okay. We just, the bank is now wanting, when draws are made, to see where relative to the budget that money comes from. They are now approaching this like a commercial construction loan. And so they want to be able to say, we've got enough money in our budget to finish this thing up and bring it to fruition. So they're wanting to track it a little bit closer than we had been doing.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Darren. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tim. Any other discussion or questions regarding this? Hearing none, I'll ask those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
Ron, thank you for updating that of the explanation.
You really need to thank Mark more than me. But he's the money man on these kinds of things, so. David, did you want to discuss an executive session?
If it will work out with the different people, we've thought about having an executive session, right, maybe at 5:30 for a meeting next month. Does that work for people, or is that hard for you, Darren?
How long?
Certainly 30 minutes, 60 would probably be better.
Yeah,
Okay. We're not 100% sure of that date though, but if we can shoot for the October
If
7th.
you want
at
to target that,
5:30.
I'll reach out to the other participants and see if that fits
Okay.
their schedule. So we will see at 5:30 p.m. on whatever the Thursday is next month.
Okay. All right. Next item is our amended item about an abatement for some property. It was dropped in our lap last month, right as we got here. We really didn't get any information about it, and nobody's really made any presentation to us. Jody, I think you know as much about it as, or maybe better versed, I know you're better versed at it than I am, but this is is it McCammons Convenience Store? That's right off 421.
By the hand. By the hand.
And Mr. May, did you say you thought the city council had already approved
They
an
did.
abatement?
They did, yes.
They did, okay. So I
It
guess
was
we
a-
need to formally,
It was approved in their August meeting.
okay,
And then reviewing the property, it was discovered that it's in the TIF district and we were not,
we probably have to give our formal,
yes, we were not made abreast of the situation.
recommendation.
okay, recommend, okay. Do I hear a motion that we recommend an abatement?
So moved.
Thank you, Ken. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Thank you, Darren. Any discussion on this? Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Next item, Indiana Department of Natural Resources Next Level Trails funding. We had talked last month maybe about reaching out to some design or
Yes, you have.
and we haven't reached out yet?
We haven't reached out yet. We were going to invite a couple, 3 potential consultants to come and speak with you about,
Completing our project list.
or even maybe a broader planning concept about this sort. Yeah, the whole project list, exactly. So I apologize. I simply dropped the ball. I'd like to have a more elaborate excuse, but I don't.
An honest one's available for you yet.
Sorry about that.
Well, we'll do that next month. Resolution for updated parcel list for the TIF expansion area. Did we not do a resolution last month?
We did, yes. Are we expanding the resolution to further property? It was discussed.
David, I have an idea that was not on your agenda, and I simply didn't clean that up.
Well,
So we
That looked like a
moved to
little bit different
remove
font
the
like was on
original
last
number
month.
3.
that, yeah.
I am consistent, though.
So we can probably strike what shows item 3 as a non.
I think he's up to 60 lashes.
The wet noodle.
Maybe the president should be fired, but also.
Oh, no, that's
Next thing we have then is our approval of claims. Phase 2 project claims. We have from Landman Beatty, a bill for $2,987.43. For legal services. For the parcel we're working on. And then we have one from Hamilton Tebby Law Office of $337.50. And then we have one we have something $9,523.45 for Landman Beatty for legal services. And I think all of that does relate to.
What was the first, was that possibly Barnes and Thornburg, that first one?
I'm sorry, what did you say, Ron?
I think-
Was that possibly Barnes and Thornburg, the first
No,
one?
it says Landman Baby. The first one?
Yeah.
No, it says Landman Baby.
That one looks like a Barnes and Thornburg. I've seen it before.
Yes,
I've seen the font and everything.
Yeah, on the sheet from the auditor, it says Landman Beatty, but it.
Are they may be reversed.
That one that he has in his hand right now is Barnes and Thornburg. I recognize it.
Yeah, she's typed it up.
Yeah.
What's the bottom?
I don't know why it's new.
This one's 95.
Okay.
Put them on the top, that's what he's at.
Is that one orange?
Barnes and Thornburg.
No, they're both.
Ours is 2,000, Landman Baby should be 95.
Yeah.
Barnes and Thornburg was from some legal work when you changed the bond resolution and the bond itself.
Oh,
So-
Lord. Okay, so let's say all that again for me now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, from Barnes and Thornburg, the first one was $2,987.43. That's Barnes and Thornburg. From Hamilton Tebby Law Office, $337.50. Resolution on parcel in TIF district. And then from Landman Beatty, $9,523.45. And I think all of these are relating to Phase 2 of Veterans Way. If we've looked at our financial report, after paying that back, there's not a lot of money in the bank, $162,000. Obviously, we could pay this out of that, but
I believe.
with our updated budget, can we?
I believe that the Hamilton Tebby invoice is not directly related to Veterans Way.
Veterans Way.
And therefore to be paid out of 802,
To,
but the other two were intended to be out of 803 with your approval.
When's our next deposit?
probably not
December.
until December.
This is matter of fall. Do we have any other bills coming up between now and then?
Not much.
Other than Veterans Way, I'm not aware of anything.
All right, given that, I would move to pay them all out of it. It's about $1,300 or so.
You mean 13,000?
Yeah.
And you all may remember I circulated an email a couple weeks ago that was about this.
Do you foresee
We
any?
all agreed, and I thought we wanted to pay for it out of the.
Well, that's up to you. I just, it's just such a small amount, and we have the money, I'd rather pay cash if we can pay cash rather than accrue interest. When is our next bond payment? How much is it?
It is in January. Your December tax settlement will likely be in the neighborhood of 500,000. Does that sound correct?
Close to that. the
And
bond
your
payment is
bond
250.
payment will be half of that, in really round numbers, 250.
That's my motion. There's not a second.
We have a motion to pay both of these out of 802, or pay all of these out of 802. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second. Any discussion or question about that? Those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 3-0.
I said I wait.
Oh, I'm sorry. 4-0.
And we're not in such a hurry about the minutes now. If you're not making a draw, then the minutes are urgent.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Looks like that is all of our agenda. Looks like we're at the end of our agenda. Our next meeting date is Thursday, October 17th, 2019. Let's see if we can get an executive session set for 5:30 that day, if that will work. Thank you all for coming. The meeting stands adjourned.